Which way is up? That doesn't matter, really. We can figure it out once we're in space. Hello, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Hardcore with Tabarnush Interplanetary. We've done a lot of flying, we've collected some science and funds, and it's time to go back to the moon, and then back to Kerbin again. But first, let's do some shopping. We have 330 science, and we are working on unlocking nodes in this 90 science level. They're all good, but what we're going to want first for our return from the moon is absolutely the spark engine. It's got lower thrust than the Terrier, it's got worse efficiency than the Terrier, but it's a quarter of the weight, which makes all the difference for a small lander and return probe. So that's for sure, we're getting that. Now we also want to get whichever node has the larger fuel tanks in it, because we still have our 30-part limit, because we've not upgraded the VAB yet. Yeah, that's the tank we want. So we're buying that. Now we can afford to buy one more node right now. Bigger rockets would be nice, but I think that we can actually complete this mission with the rockets that we have. So we're going to be focused on building smaller, lighter craft for now. So let's leave that. Advanced construction gives us docking ports, a lot of space station stuff, some nice wheels. That's tempting. Subsonic flight, no, we've got enough planes for now. Landing accelerometer would be nice. RCS, space exploration stuff, nice. A lot of nice to haves. Oh, here we go, winner. The fuel cell. This little piece is an absolute delight for unmanned probes because we're reliant on our power for continued control of the probe. And with solar panels, not only do you need more parts to get good coverage, but you always run the risk of slipping out of sight of the sun and losing control of your probe at just the wrong moment. So we're going to go with fuel cells for this mission. There we go, let's build a spaceship. Okay, let's look at what we got already. This is Vierge Trois. This has taken us to the moon multiple times. We know that it works. 5,500 meters per second. That's not enough delta V to get back, as we've seen, because we've usually landed with almost nothing to spare. You can get back from the moon, in my experience, with about 6,500. We're going to aim for 7,000 here to have a nice margin of error. So let's set all this aside. The lower stage we might use more or less as is. Let's focus on our top stage. First thing we're going to do is we're going to put on our new spark engine. There it is. We're going to unlock it. We're paying attention to the fact that unlocking isn't free, but this is 100% worth it. And we still have 150,000 Kerbucks, so we're not running into danger here. Okay. On this upper stage, we're going to want, you need about 1,000 delta V to safely return, and we're going to want to keep some for landing, although we can do most of the landing with our middle stage if we need to. Let's see. If we pull off this battery, that saves us a little bit of weight, because one of the nice things with the fuel cell, which we're going to pay 2,000 to unlock, is that it's got an integrated battery as well. Okay, for now let's just toss it on there. Right now we're not really worrying about how the whole thing is laid out. We can fiddle with that later. We're just looking to see all the parts we want to bring and how much delta V we're going to need. So now we don't need the solar panels. Pull off the science for now. Science is optional in this mission. This communitron is actually not necessary if we are deploying our deployables, as long as we remember to deploy them not too far from, not too long after we get into space, then the built-in antenna on the probe will actually get us out of the atmosphere. And in fact, from our previous missions, we've learned a little trick. these off for now, which is that we can extend our antennas and they'll be just fine as long as they're in a fairing. They won't work till the fairing's released, but we can keep them pre-deployed on the flight up. Let's rotate them in and just make sure that we don't deploy our fairing until it's safe to do so. Okay. Now we had 4 of these antennas last time, and we saw that was enough, but was cutting it really close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on 4, and then we'll add 1 more. Now we won't be needing to run 5 antennas on all of our missions forever. Right now it's just what's happening because we haven't unlocked enough of the tech tree to get the better antennas. As soon as we do, we'll put up a couple of signal boosters around where our relay network is, and then we'll be able to fly with single antennas on our probes. But for now, we need to spend some of our parts on antennae. Now for re-entry, we're going to need this flight computer. We're also going to need a heat shield, and a parachute. Okay. Now again, this probe is ugly as hell, but we're going to do the adjustments later. That should be everything we need. We've got 1100 delta V, so that's just enough for a little bit of the final landing and then the return. If we throw our lower stage back on. Oh wait, we need a separator. Throw our lower stage back on. Check our staging. Good. That fairing should be in its own stage. We're going to blow the parachute as soon as we're going to the final stage. We can activate our parachute in space, and it won't actually come out until we're back in atmosphere again. And that's good because when we re-enter, we're going to lose these antennae, obviously. So we're going to plan on having our parachute pre-armed and releasing on its own once we get back into lower atmosphere. Okay, 5,400. So we're going to need something to give us another boost here. So let's start by reducing our part count by switching to, this is an expensive part to buy, but we need to buy it. We still have 140,000. We're going into this with our eyes open. So we can use these bigger fuel tanks to reduce our part count. Okay, let's see what happens if we use a swivel for our lower stage. Okay, we still have enough thrust to rate ratio. Oh, not quite enough to take off. 5960. Now at this point, since we've upgraded our launch pad, let's finally make use of that. Let's make use of that extra weight that we have available to us and throw on some solid fuel boosters. They're heavy, but they'll give us a ton of delta V for not much cost. Boom, 6,924. This rocket will get us to the moon and back. We're gonna move these down a little bit because you want the decoupler to be above the center of mass of the booster so they fall outwards when they're released. And then we will slide this whole mechanism up the rocket body a bit. That looks good. We still have 3 parts to spare. Okay, we have no science on here yet. Let's take a peek in mission control. Because right now we have this one active contract. Bring a probe back from the moon, Kerbin, landed or splashed down. Let's see what we can do. We can take on one more. Okay. So we can take Mystery Goo and Space High over Kerbin again. Just 8,000. Explore the moon crew. No, not yet. Rover deployment. Launch a new rover to the moon. Rover landed moon. 24,000 between the advance and the completion. Let's do it. Let's make our probe a rover. I'm pretty sure for our probe to count as a rover, all it needs to have is some motorized wheels, a power source, we've got the fuel cell, and the wheels touching the ground. So we could do that. But maybe instead we'll go to mirror. Which way is up? That doesn't matter, really. We can figure it out once we're in space. What if we put our probes like... What if we put our wheels like this? And then we've got the reaction wheel, so when we land, we should be able to tip over on our side and possibly even drive somewhere interesting. The barometer, we don't need that. The parachute on this side. Let's pull these off for now. We're going to put those back on in a minute. Now we're in the process of actually building our spaceship, so we're going to put one wheel on up here. See if we can get the rotation right. Nope, 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 nope. God damn it. There we go. Yeah. They'll probably burn off on re-entry, but at that point we won't need them anymore. That'll drive around. Okay, let's put our other stuff back on. Fuel cell. That's good. Again, antennas. Okay, get back into regular symmetry mode. Now again, we want 5. Okay, actually, let's put on 2 at a time. Because we don't want them dragging on the ground when we're driving around. And 5. Okay, we're going to fan them out slightly more. Just so they're not actually contacting each other. Boom. Oh, look at this. That is a beautiful rover. How many parts do we have? We have room for one more part. Let's throw on a mystery goo because we're planning to come back. So we're going to throw on one more fuel tank on one of the early stages. Throw on maybe not another full-size tank, that might be excessive. Let's build our fairing. The shape of the fairing does matter. It does affect your aerodynamics, and the bigger it is, the more it weighs. Okay, maybe we do want to go with a full fuel tank here after all. This looks beautiful to me. Let's name this Calvaire. Oops, not Claver. Calvaire. Launch.